Resident Evil Showcase, they showed a whole bunch of stuff as well. Obviously, it was mostly focused around Resident Evil Village, the new DLC, the Winters expansion DLC, where I'm actually really excited to play Resident Evil Village in the new third-person mode. I don't know how you guys feel, but whenever anything is first-person, I get a little bit too immersed when it's first-person, and I cannot play horror games in first-person. It's too much. It's too intense in a first-person horror game. So I have to roll back to games that are mostly, with a couple of exceptions, which we'll get into on our next segment. I have to go back to the third-person thing. There's a little bit of a detachment for third-person rather than the first-person. I mean, I tried Resident Evil 7, which was the first real first-person one, and it's the shack in the woods of was it Louisiana or something, the bayou. And Jack just relentlessly pursuing you in first person. I thought, oh, fuck that. No way. No way. I can't do this game at all. And then it's first person when Ethan's getting his hand chopped off and stuff. I was like, no, can't do it. It's too scary. But anyway, we got a glimpse, of course, at Resident Evil 4 Remake. And my God, this looks incredible. Incredible. Jamie, what's your thoughts on this one?
Oh, I'm so excited. Out of all the news, the Resident Evil 4 Remake news is actually the biggest one for me, because that is probably the best entry in the series, as far as I'm concerned. Like, Resi 4 is just absolutely fantastic. And the remake looks so damn good. It's so shiny and new. It's beautiful. Although not actually shiny, because that's something that you do get with remakes where things look a little bit too dialed up. It doesn't.
Sure.
It just looks right, is the only way I can put it. It looks beautifully done, but it's still very much Resi 4. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. The third person mode I think is good, and it's obviously nostalgic as hell for the old stuff. First person doesn't bother me with horror. I'm desperately searching for a horror game that scares me. Same as with a horror film, because maybe I'm just desensitized or a terrible person, or I don't know, but I've got a very good filter between, what's real, what's not. So I'm always slightly detached when I play stuff, watch stuff, read stuff, and it doesn't tend to get to me. I still love it, but it doesn't. So no, I prefer the first person stuff, but I'm glad it's going in. So I think it's a good thing. But yeah, no, just lots of, like you said before, it's a very exciting time to be a horror fan, and like two of the biggies, like the big franchises for horror, having so much going on. It's awesome. Can't wait.
I know. Sarah, give me all your Resident Evil goodness about this.
I mean, yeah, Resident Evil 4, that's super great. It's definitely the best one. It's got to be the best one, right? I still remember playing through the very first game, and that was literally a swap controller situation. And I think there were a couple of moments where the controller came to me and I just passed it straight on. I was like, no, this is too much. First versus third person, though, I think it would be quite nice if you had the option either way. I guess it would be a lot for a dev team to sort, but for a big franchise, that shouldn't be an issue.
Sure.
But I do think it's a tactical choice, right? Like, especially with anything with like locked camera angles as well. If it's like, right, here you are, you're at the top of this little square, this is all you can see, this is where the corner is. And it's just like, yeah, it's so clever. And I think it's such an important tool for the devs to be able to say, no, this is the way that we want people to see the game. I don't know. I think generally speaking, I prefer to play third person. However, there are some amazing first person horror games, and I try not to. I would try not to like stop myself from like playing a first person just because I don't particularly like the style, because I'll persevere. I'm like, okay, now I'm looking at my actual own physical hands that are being, torn, or or whatever. And also like games in VR, I guess, is the other thing. Like, that's basically the best kind of first person.
I was going to mention that RE4, I think, was it this year or last year? Just fairly recently got a VR edition, which is apparently really good as well. So
yeah,
that's pretty cool. I mean, the new Resi 4 in first person would be pretty something, especially where Leon has to block the chainsaw dude with his combat knife, which is a new skill he can do in this one. That would be a little bit, maybe extremely intense to do that in first person, but it would be pretty cool. It would be really cool. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and this engine that they've got, the RE engine, is just allowing the developers to just crunch in so much detail and so much fidelity. I mean, we mentioned the kind of the muscle pressing of the Silent Hill 2 trailer, but one of the things that always stuck with me with the Resident Evil 2 remake is one of the opening cinematics is the trucker who's having a burger, and you can see him using his tongue to run his tongue over his teeth to get the food out from between his teeth. You're thinking, we can actually see that movement in his mouth now because it's so high fidelity with the motion capture.
Yeah.
It's just insane. And this, obviously, RE4 looks to be raising the bar again for like the expectation for remakes, like a proper from the ground up, fully remaking these games. And obviously Silent Hill is doing that, and a couple others which have just been announced, which you can maybe say for future shows. But it seems like when they do it right, there's like the sky's the limit for what is possible. It's really just a case of obviously time and budget, and if the publisher's willing to invest that level of budget into it, then the fans are in for one hell of a treat. And God, can't wait.